Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Hello, listeners. Balaam Usitz here. I'm the host for this Spot On podcast episode, where we feature top restaurateurs, investors, and business leaders. This is part of our Spot On series. Spot On is the best-in-class payment platform for retail, and they have a flagship solution called Spot On Restaurant, where they combine marketing, software, and payments all into one. They have served everyone from larger chains like Dairy Queen and Subway to small mom-and-pop restaurants. To learn more, go to spoton.com. This episode is also brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses get clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships through custom done-for-you podcast. If you have a B2B business and want to build a great relationship with clients, referral partners, and thought leaders in your space, there's no better way to do it than through podcast and content marketing. To learn more, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25.com. Today's guest is Mario Valencia. He is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience in the food industry. In 2022, Mario ventured into the world of franchising as a multi-store franchisee. He successfully launched 2 Robeks locations in Arizona. His decision to join Robeks was not only driven by its strong business potential, but also by Mario's personal journey of losing 60 pounds and experiencing the transformative health benefits of its products, making it a meaningful and fulfilling choice for him. Welcome to the podcast, Mario.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Sure, our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about the journey.
Yeah, so at that time, I was pushing the 260, 270 and started really gaining a lot of weight. It was right after 2020 where things were very turbulent at that time. And, I wasn't at my healthiest. And what I decided to do was to make one small change in my normal routine. And that was go to Robeks Juice, which was on the way to school or work. So just by me making that change, I had the chance of having something that not only tastes good, but was good for me and then kept me full and content for the day. And I was able to get acai bowls, avocado toast, fresh squeezed juice, smoothies with, turmeric and ginger and beets and all the goodies that I really needed to get through the day and to just feel good. And I just became a customer and a regular. And as I did, it helped to propel me into this. Things just started continuing to add on. Well, if I can do that, why don't I just make this change? And if I can do that, why don't I just make that change? And allowed it to kind of flow. And things went really well. So I bought a couple.
Yeah. So were they existing locations that you purchased, or were they brand new ones?
No, they were brand new ones. So yes, we opened up 2 of them about 9 miles apart on the same street where there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah. So for those of our listeners who kind of think about franchising, right? It's something that's pretty popular.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that, how that experience was for you and sort of what you learned from going down that path and becoming a franchisee?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's what at least for me, I could only speak for me, is that in 2020, I was about to open up my restaurant. And that didn't go through. The landlord was not going to build the building in the middle of that. So what I'm glad it did not occur, because I would have saved a lot of money, of course. But what it did is it allowed, that would have been my first restaurant, and there was a lot of money invested in that. And I'm glad I did not do it. I'm glad that I went into franchising because I have a team of people that are there to answer questions I need on all the different pillars that are required in order to run the business. So this, I call where I'm at now is not the top of where I'm at. This is my education, as I call it. This is where I'm learning and I'm getting all the goodies from everybody. And I'm saying, thank you for all this information. And then I'm going to continue to move on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
For me, it's useful.
Well, franchising sounds like a great way, as you put it, to learn.
Yes.
And to learn within a structure
for sure
that you can gain experience, right? Because
yes.
when you blaze out on your own,
right,
you're on your own.
You are on your own. Yes. And I'm glad I didn't because of all, I mean, we all know, especially if you own a business, of all the different aspects that are involved and trying to balance that out all at the same time. And especially if you're doing it primarily on your own,
yeah.
It's challenging to schedule that. It's very challenging. So it's good to have, for me, Robeks has been amazing for me. They've been very supportive. I love their product. I love the staff, and I have no complaints.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, before you opened the Robeks, did you have experience in the restaurant industry?
I did. So I worked in the restaurant industry for about 20 years. I worked in the busy places off of Sunset Boulevard, some places off of Santa Monica and West Hollywood, LA area. But then I came to Arizona and I decided to settle down and get into, other food industries. But I always knew this is where I wanted to be, but this is just the start for me.
Yeah. So when you were working in the restaurant industry, were you in the front of the house or the back of the house, as they say?
I was front of the house, yes. So okay. That's why I say for me, I wasn't exposed to that much of the back of the house part. So for me, that's why franchising for me is makes it easier for me to learn what I need to know so I can continue to move on. And I enjoy it very much.
Excellent.
I'm glad I have that team.
Yeah, yeah. So as you were, did you look at other franchises to think about, or did you just fall in love with Robeks and say, that's what I'm doing?
I went against the current, to be 100% honest. I didn't go with my gut. And for some reason, I was looking at their competition instead. As I'm going to Robeks on a regular, I was looking at the competition. Don't ask me why. And I tried, but it didn't work for me. And then when I looked into Robeks, it went very smooth and happened very fast, happened how it should. The team was like, here's the things you need, and we're here to guide you, and great. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I'm listening to this and I'm thinking about, oh, okay, I'd like to check out some franchises to yes. own and buy, right?
Yeah.
Because I can be an owner, but at the same time, I'm still an owner within a structure that's going to help me and guide me.
Yes.
What things should I be looking for when I'm having conversations with franchise companies?
Well, for me, it's what kind of support do I get? Also, if I'm struggling and if I'm having a hard time, because everyone has their own weak spots.
Sure.
Everyone has their own. So if you know what your weak spot is, ask them if they could help you with that. So that's something that I know. I have help in marketing. I have help in all the different pillars. I could reach out to somebody. But I think the most important thing when it comes to purchasing any business or any franchise is not to rely on the brand itself. At least that's not what I'm doing. I'm relying on myself to get my business where it's supposed to be, right? Here's a business, here's a structure that works. It's doing great. It has a great brand. It's a great product. But at the end of the day, you can't just write a check and say, here you go, now run. Like, you have to show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a franchise, so you're gonna have to show up.
That's right. So take me through sort of a typical day in the life of a franchisee.
Oh boy. Well, I'm also a parent of 5-year-old twins. So yeah, my life is, well, for me, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I meditate for a full hour. Wow. I'm in complete silence and darkness and I'm completely disconnected. because that's what helped me organize and structure my life, because I could listen to myself think. And then I could answer questions that I need and solve problems that I have, because there's no distraction. And then by the time I do that, I do some physical activity. Family time is always the most important to me. I'm not going to look back and regret this process, period.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend time with my kids. I'm going to be there. This is my time. And then once I'm done spending time with them, then I get to work. I go hit both of my businesses. I check both of them out on as much as I can every day. But I also spend about 3-4 days a week at home sometimes, because I need to work on the back of the house. Not only back of the house for the business, but back of house personal, because that's also a balance. Because I noticed when I first bought these 2 franchises that all my attention was just on the business and I was missing something at home. So now I'm like, wait a minute, I could balance this stuff out if I just ease up a little bit and I'm a lot more effective this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot more.
Or that work-life balance really is a key. And when you own a business, I think it's even more challenging because for many folks, you're much more emotionally engaged and involved with the business.
Yeah.
So striking that balance, I think for a lot of people is a real challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any, you said you get up, you meditate, that's sort of what works well for you. Do you have any other thoughts or words of advice for people who are trying to figure out that work-life balance?
You don't hear meditate when you have conversations like this, especially when it comes to business or even family life. But the way I see it is that I'm not going to look back on this and have a regret. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to spend time with my family. I can do all of it. The only person who says I can't do all of it is me. And I don't run like that anymore. I ran like that about 5 years ago, and I took that person out.
Yeah.
So the thing is I want to be happy on my journey as I'm learning, as I'm growing, as I'm experiencing stuff, right? It's not just about the business. I want to walk in business and be like, that was fun with my kids today. What a great day. You know what I mean? I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be stressed out. I can balance it all.
Excellent.
It's balance. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So you've owned the franchises now for a couple of years.
Yes.
What have sort of, once you decided to go with Robeks and open them, what have been some of the big challenges for you?
Staff. Well, right now we hear a lot about it is the staff retention.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm going to take a step. But one of the ways I have found that works for me and for my stores, and it's in its infancy, but it's working very well, is that I advertise and promote that because I'm a veteran. I call it Operation Liftoff, and Air Force, and had to throw that in there. Sorry. That if I can, because I'm a small business and I can't afford benefits, what can I offer them that would make them want to stay there? So what I do is I ask them if they are interested in learning all aspects of that small store. And there's a lot of young people that are like, yeah, sure, because I have faith in every single one of them. I'm not going to be that generation that goes, oh, that younger generation they're such horrible workers. Well, if they're horrible workers, then where are you at as a boss? Where are you at as a boss?
Right.
And you raise them.
That's right.
So where are you at? So I have to show up. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to show up this way is I write resumes and I write reference letters for my staff. And I try to do everything I can to build them up, to teach them that they need to become valuable. They need to become worth something. Because if they bounce from job to job, they're not being valuable and they're always going to have the same result. Yeah. So if I can make them valuable, I'm not only giving back to me, but I'm giving back to them. So I expose them to things like that and I help them out, and some take it, some don't, and that's okay. But I have a lot of staff that stay there, that have been there for the full year, and for a place like us, quick serve, it can be pretty tough sometimes, 2-3 months, a couple of weeks in the beginning. Now I have, 6 months, a year and a half. So it's getting there.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So one of the things you always hear about retail, and in a broad sense, restaurants, retail, you're selling to the consumer.
Yep.
Location is really, really important. How did you
Sure.
think about where you were going to locate these two stores?
Well, one of them, the Lavine, was easy because it was right next to a freeway and it was on the corner, and there was a high school directly behind it, and there's a building is going everywhere. It's brand new. They're putting a hospital across the street. There's a college. Yeah, there's a college. The numbers are doing great. But you could have the best location in the world, but if you're not there managing your store and making sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, then that's on the owner, right?
Yeah.
So my other store is not that lucky, and that's my first store. But in order to battle that, what I've decided to do is, and it's working very well, is I'm planning health events, runs, 5Ks, walks, hikes. I'm getting with all the groups because they want to come to my store. They want to be there. So now, because in Arizona, there's a slump in numbers because of the heat. It's not very nice out here, and the snowbirds aren't here, right? And people want to stay inside. So for me, it's kind of like a breathing space where I can say, okay, nothing's going on. I can regroup, organize, and now I'm working on, I have things going on at both locations every month for every week throughout next year through March.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see what I mean? So I'm not looking at the excuse, because if I'm going to go to the destination I'm planning on, excuses don't work for me. There's always a solution.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to bring what I need to do to me.
Well, that's what you're talking about, is engaging with the community.
Oh, for sure. Well, yes. Yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, both of my stores, I'm launching my nonprofit called Unity and Bridges. Both stores are going to be donating to this, where it will, it's going to give back to the community.
Sure.
The local community where my stores are at, our nonprofit, when both stores will funnel into those nonprofits, because that will make my company and my businesses valuable if I'm giving back to the community to improve it.
Sure. I think a lot of people miss that, right? They don't realize that.
I don't see anybody doing it, to be honest.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is look around.
Wherever you are, whether you're an individual or whether you're a business or a restaurant, a retail, you're part of that community, and engaging with that community and helping that community grow is really, really important.
I mean, I don't know. That's what sounds like a good idea to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm trying to get involved in all the local community gardens to teach people about healthy eating. That's why I'm bringing health events to the area. I'm getting with community leaders, because to be honest, I'm not in here for the money. It's about the platform to try to leave a good legacy and something positive behind. I want to show my kids that this is what it looks like. Yeah. And struggle through it.
Yeah. And you know what happens is when you do that outreach and you do that engagement, at least for me, it always leads to something new and great in the future.
Well, and then it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, I'm going to do anything I can as I'm going through this process to do things as I'm working that make me feel good. And this is one of them.
Yeah.
This is one of them. You know, why would I not, if I have a business in that community, not invest in the community? I mean, I don't know, no brainer if you ask me, right. But some people are in it for the money. And you know what? You can have all the money in the world, but if you're ungrateful for what you already have right now, you're going to be ungrateful for when you have 50 million, $100 million. You'll still be ungrateful. You'll be one of those miserable, unhappy, wealthy people not doing anything in your life, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, Mario, this is great. This is fabulous. Are you kidding? So, what has been a more of a challenge in opening these two locations than you thought it would be? In other words, what was more difficult than you thought?
Me.
I'm not.
I only look in. I don't use I'm unhappy because of that, or all these things are going wrong because of that. I don't do that. That's a waste of my time. I look in. So what I found is that I'm not organized. I found that I could use a lot more help with that. I could use a lot more education with accounting, you know, and understanding how that works. I could use a lot of education. So I'm out there, I'm registering at ASU. I have mentors now, and I'm putting everything I can with that balance because I'm also a disabled vet. So I have to balance my mental health, my spiritual health, everything on top of family life and business. That's why I say that meditation and that silence. People don't know how to disconnect.
Yeah.
They think that all that hustle and bustle is getting things done. Slow down. You'll get a lot more done when you quiet your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll be at peace.
You mentioned mentors. Do you have sort of like a board of directors or a board of advisors for your not-for-profit, your business entity?
I do. So what I decided to do is my niece, I brought her on because she runs nonprofits in Iowa. So I was like, can you please help in case this thing does get crazy? Because I have a feeling it will. Because I'm doing a massive 5K run between the two stores on the same main street on Veterans Day. And all proceeds will be transparent and posted. Will go to veteran services.
Wow.
In both South Mountain and Levine, every single penny.
Perfect.
So, yes, sorry.
No, this is good. So, I want to start wrapping this up. So, where can listeners go to maybe contact you or learn more about your stores and Robeks?
Yeah, well, and I want to make something really clear is that when I speak, I'm not speaking for Robeks because I speak for myself. Robeks, I own, but I am my own person, period. So there's a big separation. So how I speak is me, not them.
Right.
But Robeks, I love them. And I would go to www.robeks.com and you can reach out to me at mario.valencia@robeks.net.
Excellent. We will make sure all that information is in the show notes. Hey, is there anything that I haven't asked you or something else that you'd like to share with our listeners?
If you're in a position of business, I hope you're at least in a position of gratitude. If you're not hungry, just be in gratitude. Just start that in your day. Yeah. Wake up and just say, I'm grateful I'm in this position first, that I can do these things first. Yeah. Because a lot of people would die to be in your shoes. Live like that. Give a little. Just give a little. You know what I mean? It'll make you happier. But silence your mind and allow yourself to enjoy the life that you have, because a lot of people have a beautiful life from the outside, but and then you look inside and you're like, ouch, no thanks.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Mario, this has been really great. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
It was a real thrill to get to know you a little bit.
I appreciate it. Likewise.
You betcha.
Well,
all right. Hang on. Let me stop recording.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.